There's nothing like jumping into a new game and exploring what it has to offer, only to have that feeling of dread show up when you see a water level. Images of games long since past show up of how traumatizing they could be. However, with all those memories and knowing how awkward and difficult they were, we keep coming back again and again. Part of it was the challenge of all of it, but part of it, and an important part, was the music. Those hypnotic melodies that helped get us sucked into the levels, regardless of how frustrating they were. Here are 10 games that had music tracks that made us forget all about those hardships. First up is Super Mario Bros. You know we can't do a list about water levels without adding in one from one of the earliest games most of us would recognize a water level from. The moment you dropped into World 2-2, you were greeted with a serene, albeit hostile world, filled with aquatic creatures and soothing music. The movement of the enemies, the movement in the water, the music, all of it worked flawlessly together to create a stage that just sucked you deeper and deeper into the gameplay. It's almost a pity that almost everyone took the warp pipe on 1-2 and missed out on this truly beautiful and serene water stage. If you always use that warp pipe, try skipping it this time and give this one a go, just to experience it. Number 2, Donkey Kong Country, and if you haven't noticed by now, no, I don't have these in any particular order. Now, if there was ever a company in the 90s that you could trust to get every facet of a game right, all the way down to the little details, it was Rare, and the Donkey Kong Country series was no exception to this. With tight gameplay, creative enemies, and an art style that was second to none in the SNES days, Donkey Kong Country gained a reputation for some of the best games on the system. They took this and gave us some of the best water levels ever to grace the console as well. The rideable mounts, creative art design, they had a surefire hit on their hands. What made it so special though was the music. The music was perfect for the series and for this game, completing the atmosphere that they were going for perfectly. Just making these stages a joy to play. Just listen to a bit of the soothing yet haunting melodies and see how well they go with the level design. Moving on, let's go ahead and go into our next game. If it's something that Mario doesn't lack in, it's water levels, and you know me, as a Nintendo fan, I can't resist putting more than one on this list. So, given that we covered Mario's first 2D outings in a water level, let's go ahead and dig into one of his first 3D outings as well, Mario 64. This game was filled with all sorts of interesting and compelling levels that Mario got to explore, even one called Jolly Roger Bay. Focused around exploring a water level, you can swim with all the fish, explore caves, and even investigate the Jolly Roger itself by fending off a gigantic eel and plundering the ship before it rises to the surface. This is a wonderful level, and like most of the N64 levels, it changes a bit each time you get a new star. The music, as always in these games, is second to none, and this one in particular fills you with wonder and awe, making you feel more like you're truly there, making this a truly special addition to our list. Don't believe me? Just give this a brief listen and then tell me if you don't agree. Well, here's a game I didn't originally think that I'd have on this list, but here we are. This is Castlevania 4 in the Submerged City. This stage has Simon going through a series of caverns filled with sheer drops, skeletal dragons, and clay golems. In this area, you're actually treated to a really lively, playful tune full of string instruments with just a hint of danger added in, giving you a bit of warning but filling you with a strong sense of curiosity, making this particular track a joy to listen to. As you move deeper into the level, you come to a waterfall where the music becomes a bit more somber and serious, filling you with a deep sense of dread as you climb up the treacherous path to the top. The sense of unease and tension that this song brings to bear in this part of the level cannot be underestimated. Finally, as you make it to the top, the music changes a third time to what is quite possibly my favorite track, and I can only describe this as a playful jazz punctuated with notes of urgency and warning, like they mixed up the atmospheres of the first two parts of the stage to bring you something truly unique. If you haven't actually given this game a go or this stage a go, you really should. It's an amazing experience with gameplay every bit as good as the music. Whatever you might happen to think of Sonic CD, the one thing that you can't say is that it didn't give us some amazing tracks. And one, well, okay, let's back that up a little bit. Multiple that stood out, I should say, is from Untitled Tempest. Now, Sonic CD was one of those games that was famous for the fact that you could go to the past or the future, changing the stage and at times your ending. This gave us not one, but in a lot of cases, 4 different tracks, consisting of the past, present, future, and bad future. So you weren't shy of excellent music to listen to as you worked your way through the level. In true Sonic fashion, the stages would consist of the typical terrifying, stress-inducing water levels, complete with the signature timer warning when you were near drowning. Let's take a look at some of the tracks that kept us playing while we're repeatedly drowning and panicking in the Untitled Tempest. In all of the Zelda games, I don't think there's an area more divisive or rage-inducing than the temple in the Ocarina of Time. Navigation was an exercise in adjusting water levels both up and down. This would force you to go in and out of your inventory to take on and off the iron boots in order to navigate it. The stage was so bad that Eiji Aonuma formally apologized for how awkward it was to take the boots on and off to navigate the temple, going on to state that aside from the problem with the boots, I like the water temple so much. If you can get past your rage at how awkward and confusing the entire experience was, you'll find out quickly that this dungeon is filled with some of the most amazingly haunting and beautiful music that's just as soothing as it is mysterious, reminding the listener of faraway lands full of hidden secrets. Take a listen and see what you think. Megaman, one of the series with reliably good water levels, full of great intense music that keeps driving you forward through some of the most punishing levels in gaming. Mega Man 2 is no exception. That's right, we're gonna talk about Bubble Man stage. That driving bass beat, that high-pitched note that almost sounds like a guitar, just hearing it makes you want to rush headlong into the level. This is a gorgeous stage, with a waterfall full of mechanical frogs, before dropping you down into the deep, where you'll face gigantic shrimp, sailfish, and some sort of whale robot. Look, I'm no marine biologist, okay? Eventually, you're gonna find your way to Bubble Man himself, all to this amazing soundtrack. Just take a listen. Ecco the Dolphin. If ever there was a game with a stranger, more bizarre twist in this era of gaming, I have no idea what it could be. Like, no idea. The game started off harmless enough with you playing around with your dolphin friends until they're all kidnapped, and you have to search the ocean to find them. It sounds innocent enough, but the deeper and farther you go, the stranger or more alien this game gets, till it seems like you're exploring an alien world or ship itself, with the music getting more and more alien as you go along. Just listen to this track, and tell me if it doesn't seem like something out of a sci-fi horror movie. I'm on to you, Ecco. Your cute little bottlenose dolphin face doesn't fool me. You're some sort of space alien dolphin thing, aren't you? If ever there was a level that induced panic, rage, and frustration in excess, it would have to be the water dam level in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. You would think a water-based level focused around turtles would be relaxing, but no! The whole place is a nightmare! With tons of electric barriers, electrified plant life, and spinning wheel hazards, you have your hands full in this stage. It also doesn't help that the entire place is a maze, which makes it also easy to miss one of the bombs that you're trying to defuse. Oh, did I mention the fact that you're doing all this on a tight 2-minute and 20-second timer with some of the most ear-piercing alarms ever put in a video game? You're welcome! Yeah, this makes for one of the most stressful water levels ever created. Thanks, Konami. Thankfully, for those who got there, the music in this stage fits fantastically with the level design. With a fun, solid rhythm that fits the underwater atmosphere and the sense of urgency that drives you on, you'd be hard-pressed to find a tune that would fit as well as this one did. Just listen to this, it's absolutely amazing. If I were to suggest one track that personified the sense of isolation and dread that could be brought to bear by music in the 16-bit era of games, the one that would come to mind the most is Maridia in Super Metroid. The melody sinks into your mind, giving you that heavy sense of dread and pressure that would come from being so far in the depths of an alien world. Listen to it long enough and you start to get the sense of isolation and feel that you don't belong in this alien environment that you find yourself in. That somehow seems even more alien than the rest of this alien world you find yourself in. See what you think of it for yourself. Well, that's the end of the list. Hopefully you found a few of these tracks enjoyable, and with any luck, a few of them help you survive through some of the trauma that many of these games and stages can induce on an unsuspecting player. How many of these games did you play? How many more water level tracks can you think of? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe orb if you're not already subscribed yet. You may also want to check out some of the other videos that are showing up on the screen. But until next time, happy gaming.